Hi guys, it's your girl Jadida and I'm super excited to be back with another episode of our amazing series Told and Untold Stories. If this is your first time here, then I'm excited to welcome you. Uh, I must say that I'm very, very happy that you found time to be here, and I do hope that you've been able to catch up on previous episodes. If not, please find time to do that, as you will enjoy and just get the full gist of this entire series. Now, to every returning subscriber, I just want to say thank you so much for coming back every single time. Like, you guys stop by twice every week. I am so grateful that you find time to come back every single time we drop a video. I hope you do enjoy every single episode. I hope you've been learning and I hope you've been sharing. Now, today's episode is a bit different, just a little bit different, because I have noticed that we've heard a lot of stories. We've been able to pick a lot of lessons from them, and a lot of those lessons that we've been able to pick requires us to actually put them to practice, and putting them to practice requires us to change certain things about ourselves, right? So you've been doing certain things a certain type of way, you've been responding to people a certain type of way, you've been reacting to experiences a certain type of way, and now that you've learned so many lessons from the stories we've shared, you know that you need to change these reactions, you need to change these responses. It just requires you changing a lot of things, or some things about yourself or about the way you've been doing things. Now, we all know that as much as change is good, it is not always so easy to do. It is not always so easy to do, and it's like a fact that every time we talk about change, nobody expects you to change from bad to worse, you get? So we know that every time we mention change, it is in hope that it is a positive change from bad to good, good to better, better to best, and just all the way up. So it can be called, this change can be called improvement, right? So we can use the word improvement in this case, this change that we're talking about, that we need to make in our lives individually. So we all know that these improvements are very good. They're going to help us, they're going to bring out better results in our lives, but that doesn't mean it will happen so easily. It doesn't mean that it will happen just like that. So this episode is just to encourage you and to just inspire you and make you understand that yes, as hard as that change is, it is very important that you take it. And we'll just break it down as we always do with a story. I'm not a huge fan of editing pictures. I just really love to see that natural pop of color, just that natural skin color. I'm a big fan of that. So I don't always enjoy editing, but then we can't deny the fact that editing pictures makes them appear a lot better than they were when we took them, right? Pictures, videos, whatever it is, editing actually makes them a lot better. So while I was editing a picture on this particular day, I noticed that it was taking me a lot longer than I had time to spare. So it's not like it was taking way much time, but I didn't have that time and energy to spare. But I couldn't stop because I had not gotten what I wanted yet. So I had to keep just pushing my mouth while editing the picture. So while editing, I just noticed that some of the editing tools, I needed to increase them, such as lighting, such as contrast, the saturation, the ambience. I just had to increase them, and then there were others that I had to reduce, like the highlights, the shadows. I had to reduce their, I don't even know the word to use. I just had to reduce the extent or their level, I don't know. But I had to reduce them and I had to increase for others, and then some needed to be added a whole lot more than others. Some just needed just a little addition and a little subtraction just to get what I wanted. So after the whole change, the whole up and down, I finally got what I wanted, and when I looked at the before and after, I was so satisfied and happy that I actually stuck around to finishing that edit. But guys, that's not the interesting part of this gist. The most interesting part of this gist is the fact that I could easily replicate this entire edit to every other picture I wanted. So after I saved the picture I edited that took me so much time and it was saved, I could just replicate the exact work I did into every other picture that I wanted. So long as I brought it into the app, I could replicate it. Guys, that meant I didn't have to spend so much time anymore editing. It was a lot faster, and it just, at that point, I honestly could not even remember the amount of time I'd spent on that first picture and all the pushing of mouth I was doing to edit it, because now I could just keep replicating and getting the pictures that I wanted. Cool, right? But then I came to this picture, and when I just added the full edit I had done on previous pictures, I noticed that it was too sharp. It wasn't what I wanted, and that was because while taking the picture, the lighting I used for this particular picture was entirely different from the lighting of the other pictures. So replicating the same work on them won't give me the same result. So I decided to replicate it, then still work on it, right? It was going to be a lot easier than me starting from scratch. And guys, it gave me exactly what I wanted. Now, with all of these things that I was doing, it was so easy for me to try many other changes. Like, I was comfortable trying different edits, different looks, because I'd seen the results from the previous work I've done and I really liked it. So I wasn't even bothered about what the results would look like. I just really wanted to try as much as I could, as many as I could, and just see what I could come up with. Now, why did I have to share this entire experience? At that point, while I was doing all of those editing, it just hit me on this whole idea of change. Like, change is supposed to be something that is good, improvement, like that's all what we hope for. But sometimes it's not easy. Not just sometimes, most times it's not easy to put those changes to work, and it usually takes a whole lot of time at first. Sometimes it takes you a lot more time than you have to spare. Other times it takes you a lot more energy than you're willing to give, a lot more money than you're willing to spare, and it can be just so exhausting, and you just want to drop it all, the entire process. But you also know that, okay, if I stick this till the end, it's going to give me the results that I want. It's going to get me what I want. So you stick it to the end and you get that change, you get that improvement, you get that work done. And my goodness, guys, by the time you get it done, you will not remember the entire time. Okay, let me not say you will not remember, but then you will value the entire time you spent in that particular process to get that change, because the result is usually so good. It's usually so worth it that you'll be glad you took all of those steps. But then that's not the end of it. That is what I love most about it. The fact that you changing in an area is not the end of the matter. So you see that part that I was able to replicate the main edit on every other picture. That's the coolest part for me about change. The fact that when you change as a person, it usually affects a whole lot areas in your life besides that area that you were focused on. You get? So let's say you were focused on maybe your spiritual life. Suddenly you see your mental life getting better, your physical life getting better, your relationship with people getting better. Like, it affects every other aspect of your life. So long as it's an improvement that you made in any area of your life at all, you can't help but notice the fact that you can easily replicate that into every other field, every other area or aspect of your life. But guys, hold that thought. Just as it's easy for you to replicate this change, you also know that there are certain phases that an exact replication will not work. You know, like in the case of the last picture, that an exact replication just made everything, you get? So an exact replication will not work in that case. But you don't have to start from scratch. You can just add up to the work that you've already started on yourself. Just add up to the changes that you've already made. You get? A very quick example, let's say you're learning to control your tongue, right? So you are learning to not be quick to speak, you're learning to listen and understand people. Sometimes it might work for you in so many fields, but there are times that you will need to speak up. You keeping quiet and just listening to people and just getting their point, it doesn't always work in all areas of your life at all times. There are moments where you have to stand your ground and speak out, speak up for yourself, air your own view. The fact that you listen to others' view doesn't mean you can't air your own view. You get? That's just an example of a change that we can make in every other area of our life, but it gets to a point that you still have to add work to it to actually make it a lot better. You get? Now, even more interesting is the fact that now that you started changing and you started seeing the amazing results in your life, you will feel so encouraged, so inspired to keep getting better. That's the baba of all. You get? The fact that you've done this change, that change, this change, that change, and you've seen just how much it has improved your life, just how happier you've been, just how better you're able to relate with people, to understand people's point of view, to express yourself and all of that. You're just like, okay, what if I try to change this other thing? What if I now try to change this other thing? You just find it a lot easier now to just change a lot more things about you. Now guys, don't forget that we're talking about improvements in this case. So guys, I can say that I used the entire episode to break down change. It is so beautiful. It is so hard, yes, but it is so beautiful. And if you're able to stick it out, you're able to just hold on and stick it out, guys, trust me, you'll be so glad that you stayed the path, and you stuck until the very end. So I hope that this episode, this very little story about change, inspired you to take on the challenge. Don't be afraid of change. Don't be scared to change, especially when it is so obvious that you need it. You know, when it is so obvious that you need to adjust a lot of things in your life, in your business, in everything you do, your relationship, your interactions. If it is so obvious that you need to change certain things, guys, I just hope that you not be afraid to take that step. Instead, see it as a thrilling experience, just something to look forward to, just to try something new. Trying new things can be as easy as changing one thing about yourself and doing it over and over again till it becomes a part of you, just to make yourself better. So guys, I'll remind you once again, do not be afraid to make that change. Instead, see it as a thrilling experience to try new things and imagine the billion possibilities that could come out from that one thrilling experience. I will see you in the next episode, guys. Keep sharing your stories. Keep watching, keep liking, keep commenting, keep subscribing, and share more stories with us, guys. From me to you, have an amazing week.